Alright guys, so I'm right here with the sure shot, Bryant Mooney. Bryant, welcome to Wrestlevlogs. It's great to have you here.
Good to have you.
Alright, so tell us a little bit more about yourself. You're a big part of Texas wrestling, but what do you do?
What do I do? Like on my day job? Like
Well, in wrestling.
wrestling?
For Texas wrestling.
Wrestling this feels like a job. So at least for the last 2 years, since I think almost like a little bit after, it's pretty much my 2-year mark right now, where how everything started by just going to shows. I started going to like reality wrestling, Sabotage, heavy metal, just going around the scene, just taking pictures, shooting video clips, posting them on Instagram. In the beginning, I kind of didn't want an identity. I kind of just being like that quiet guy who just takes pictures, but they know who I am. So once they started knowing me, started exposing me, then they're like, okay, I can like, because I was kind of shy in the beginning, so it was kind of like trying to I'm losing my words here. But once I started gaining traction and it started getting more views, people started following me, I was like, okay, I got something here. So like any show or that front row, it's fine. Just take random clips of match, take the best clips out of any match and just post on Instagram, tag them, and then more wrestlers started recommending me. They started tagging me like, okay, and I started getting recognized for being such a diligent work. And I'm just doing it. I was just freelancing. I was just doing it at my free time, like during the weekends. I would just like edit clips, edit photos, put them together. So once they started knowing me, they started seeing me. It's like, oh, that's a sure shot. That's why I use it as a nickname. It's kind of like a nickname. I still use it, even though I kind of like since I just started doing photography. But what really got me transitioning into photography was before the pandemic hit. That's what I was looking to do. I was looking to do photography full time because it's something that would be more substantial. So I was trying to find something that I can fit in, where I can be beyond a fan. They know I'm a diehard fan. They know I go to every show. I've driven so many cities around the state, so they know me. So what would be something for me to like give back to the community, to the wrestling community? That's what I've been doing the past 2 years, and now that since I started doing more photography work, and I just found my footing there, and I'm getting more exposure. People are more appreciative of my stuff, and that really hit me. Like you've got something. Even fans were noticing me. I'm like, fans were noticing me. Like they would notice me at shows. They would notice my work, and I'm like. It kind of like starstruck me. I'm like, you're really doing something for the community. And like during the pandemic, it was very hard during the pandemic because I had so much stuff planned. I wanted to do basically what I'm doing right now is what I wanted to do pre-pandemic, and that really took a toll. Like 6 months there was like no shows. It took a toll on me mentally and stuff like that. But I was still just like. Putting out past work, still getting traction, and wrestlers and fans were like, I still had that support system. So once I started going back like in September, I bought some normal basic DSLR camera, just try this out and see if it works. Like launch a photography page and just focusing on that. And the more shows I started doing, more repetition, more I started gaining traction. The more my shots were getting better, the more it got better, the more I posted, the more people were noticing and tagging. To a point where, especially when I shot my first ringside show here in local back in October, which was thanks to Scott Bruce RWR for giving me the opportunity, because that just opened just a whole other world. It's like something like having that experience just shooting ringside, you don't have that much experience, and you kind of like, but they've known you for almost 2 years, like wrestlers know me, promoters know me, so it's kind of like you were destined to be like, you didn't quit, you didn't give up on it, and I almost just gave up on it at a very dark point in time, but it was very dark time.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt you.
Right.
But it's and the progress has grown.
Yeah.
And I mean, during the time of the pandemic, it was a time for people to start investing on something, trying to see on something in the future, and it worked for you. I remember when I think it was in Laredo, it started off. Well, now you're with the camera. And
Yeah.
when was it? Last time I think it was a ROW shoot. You shot Gino. It was
Yeah.
a very clean photo.
Yeah, very clean stuff, very clean photos. And getting an opportunity there to do ringside just recently, a few weeks ago, was just like, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm at another level now. Like, this is something serious. And as soon as I got that news, once I just put it out there, I had wrestlers and fans, like, they were just like saying, congratulations, you deserve this, like, you belong here. And it just like, just blew my mind. Like, it's like just getting the reception that I got is very positive, very overwhelmingly positive. It was starting to overwhelm me because I'm kind of like a shy person. It takes a lot to really like take it. I'm like, okay, you're really doing this. If reality wrestling is reaching out to you to do this, which back a little side story, like even before that, because even with the pandemic, like 2 days before that, when my best friend passed away, God bless his soul, that took a huge toll on me because we were so close that I almost didn't even go with it because I was kind of just too distraught. But you know how say with wrestling deals, wrestling is a coping mechanism. Going with it, that was the coping mechanism. That's what got me boosted back up. Going to row, going to local around. Doing this, it really keeps you morale. Keep you saying positive. Doing this, anyone who really puts in the work, even you put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
You put your heart and soul into something, put your effort into it, it's gonna blow up. It may take a year or two, it may come instantly. This was a 2-year build, it was a 2-year process. So everything was already built up. I already had like the following and the liking. It was just now I can just completely capitalize on it and do what's best for the wrestlers and help them get exposure. And I could tell a lot of the wrestlers, they love the exposure. Like I love my photos getting likes and people posting on their page or 8x10s and people using it as like their profile pictures and stuff like that. That really seeing that really boosts my spirit. It makes me very happy and positive. That's why it's what we're doing as fans is a very good contribution to this wrestling community. It's like all of our hard work, our drive, we drive X amount of hours to go to these shows, support these talents, support the promotions. Everyone gets their spot, and everyone blossoms in it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, not a lot of people are familiar like with us, yourself, many others do. Like we could count it in the podcast people.
Yeah.
We travel where there's the big promotion and everything, and we don't get much respect as we should because we're spending our time, we're spending our money, you know. And there's even people, to me, there's even people that have been telling me that, man, I don't know how you do it. You've been traveling more than half the time that I know. And I'm like, wow, like I just do this as a hobby.
Same here.
Yeah. But
started off, it's all a hobby and a passion that just completely paid off over the past 2 years, and it's what's really keeping me going a lot of times. It really keeps me going.
All right, so which one was one of your favorite pictures? I know you got so many, so I'm pretty sure
there's a lot. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
It's gonna be hard to choose one, but which one was your favorite, or which one was very important to you?
My favorite picture, there's, because it's kind of hard because the one I took last week of Richard Rose super kicking chicken, that one just blew up to a whole other level. To where that's kind of like that's one of my recent favorites. One of my like complete favorites was when I think it turned into like actually later on I found out that this said wrestle turned into an 8x10, and that really just like blew my mind, which was also Rachel Rose like a couple years ago at Queensville Ring. She had like a jacket that had like Ben the Knee on it, and I just took like a picture, not just from my phone. And like a couple weeks later, it was an 8x10, and that just like blew my freaking mind. Like that's kind of like just seeing, and I saw more of my 8x10, more of my pictures turning to 8x10s, and just seeing that type of like motivation and traction, it's like that really motivates. Okay, you've got something here. You know you can take a good shot. You know you can gain traction, and you got wrestlers like, and then you got wrestlers like Thunder Rosa, which I've always admired and always have the most love for. And they start liking your work, like you just like when you know you have them in your pocket, you know you're a reliable source, you're looking for exposure. That's all you need. And it just grows from there. And now it's just grown to like this big point. So either if I'm shooting ringside or front row, they just know that Brian's gonna come with a good shot.
Yeah.
That it's gonna be for good use for them to use, which is really helping. It's really to give back to them. Me, like I don't really need the money. It's like it's not like a day job pays pretty well, but just having that passion just grow in you to where it can grow bigger, because you never know. You can shoot here with under like 20, 50, 20, 30, 40 people, or you can shoot for a big time company. If you get enough traction, you put enough passion, you put enough work into it, you never know. So if you're doing this, and I know a lot of other photographers that are doing the same type of work and effort. So if they keep going to gain a following, gain traction, you never know where this is going to take.
Absolutely. How you say? You gotta find your heart, your passion.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been telling me, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. I always tell them, find your passion, do what you like. I mean, that's what I do. I love wrestling. They're Wrestlevlogs. It's going great.
Passion, time, effort. You put those three in, you can do whatever you want to do. As long as you put your heart into it and believe in it. Exactly. And you never know where it will take you.
Alright, Brian. So, where can the fans follow you on social media as well? I already know that you have a photography page,
which is Bryant D Photography, which is facebook.com/BryantD_88. On Twitter and Instagram, it's also BryantD_88 at BryantD_88 on IG, Twitter. But mainly, most of my photography stuff is on Instagram and my photography page. Twitter's kind of like a mixed bag, but that's where you can find it.
Alright, sounds good, and I'm glad to see you here, and we're going to do Mark the Mark. I want to thank you for last time getting those pictures of
absolutely,
Mark the Mark.
Absolutely.
Alright, so thank you so much, Brian, and we hope to see you in more shows to come.
Absolutely, thank you.